What if I told you that the pair of shoes you wear for dunking, crossovers, and fast breaks could also be your go-to for running, playing tennis, or even soccer? Sounds crazy, but you might be shocked to hear that basketball shoes could actually be the ultimate all-around sports shoes. Or maybe not. Can they really be the best for everything? Well, today we're going deep into whether basketball shoes can truly handle multiple sports and if they're really worth the hype for more than just basketball. It's not as straightforward as you'd think. I've been on the court, the track, and even out on the field with my basketball shoes, and let me tell you, sometimes they feel like a dream, but other times, total nightmare. I've made my fair share of mistakes, and trust me, you don't want to follow in my footsteps. Stick around to find out why. Why even consider basketball shoes for other sports? Before we get too deep, let's start with the basics. Why even consider basketball shoes for something like tennis, running, or even casual soccer? It's simple. Basketball shoes are designed to offer exceptional support, grip, and stability. They're made to handle high-impact movements like jumping, pivoting, and those sudden direction changes you see on the court. But here's the question. Can they hold up for sports with different demands? Well, the short answer is they can sort of work, but not always. Let me break down the advantages of basketball shoes that make them worth considering for other sports. Advantages of basketball shoes. First and foremost, we've got the issue of ankle support. This is a big one. I'm honestly terrified of spraining my ankle, whether I'm on the basketball court or even just out on a casual run. I don't know about you, but the thought of twisting an ankle on a jog makes me shudder. That extra ankle support from basketball shoes, it feels like a safety net, and that's huge, especially for sports where stability is key. Another advantage is lateral movement. These shoes are designed to handle quick side-to-side motions, which is crucial for basketball players who are always cutting and pivoting. But guess what? That same lateral support can be super useful for sports like soccer or track, where sudden changes in direction are a big part of the game. Whether you're sprinting on the track or making those tight turns on the soccer field, basketball shoes can give you that agility edge. Then there's the grip. I'm sure you've experienced the nightmare of trying to sprint on turf or a hard court with shoes that just slip. It's the worst, right? I absolutely hate that feeling like you're trying to fight the ground beneath you. But when you wear basketball shoes, they stick to the surface like glue, which makes those fast breaks, quick sprints, or sudden stops way more predictable and safe. That traction could make all the difference when you're moving at full speed. And of course, we can't forget about durability. Basketball shoes are built to withstand a lot. Whether you're playing on a hardwood court or running on gravel, these shoes are made to take a beating. I've worn mine in some pretty rough conditions, and they've held up well. So, if you're someone who wants to save some money and get shoes that can last through different sports, basketball shoes can be a solid investment. The surprising side of basketball shoes. Here's where things start to get a bit interesting. I'll admit at first I thought using basketball shoes for other sports was a rookie mistake. But after actually trying them out for things like running and even tennis, I was pretty shocked by their performance. Now, I'm not saying they're the best option, but I was surprised by how well they could elevate your performance in certain situations. For example, I tried running with a solid pair of basketball shoes, and while they were definitely heavier than running shoes, they helped me focus more on stability and control. It's almost like the extra weight made me more aware of my movements, especially during sharp turns or quick shifts. It felt like I had a lot more power and confidence under my feet. So while basketball shoes aren't designed for running long distances, they could help with that burst of energy or sudden directional change. Is it possible these shoes could unexpectedly improve your performance? It's definitely something to think about. When basketball shoes aren't the best option. Now here's where things start to get tricky. While basketball shoes can have some unexpected advantages, they're far from perfect for every sport. Let's talk about running for a second. If you've ever worn basketball shoes for a long-distance run, you know the pain. After just a few miles, my feet were sore, and I could feel blisters starting to form. The thing is, basketball shoes aren't built for extended wear. They're designed for quick, explosive movements, not for absorbing the repetitive pounding of long-distance running. Running shoes, on the other hand, are specifically designed to cushion your feet over extended periods. And that's something basketball shoes just can't replicate. Another thing to consider is the weight. I've got to say, basketball shoes are heavy. And while that's great for providing support and control, it's a nightmare when you're trying to run or play tennis. I remember the first time I tried to run in basketball shoes, I felt like I was carrying around a ton of bricks. Every step felt heavier, and I could literally feel the weight pulling me down. If you're trying to hit the track or play a fast-paced game of tennis, the last thing you want is heavy shoes weighing you down. The flexibility factor. And then there's the flexibility. When you play soccer or tennis, flexibility is key. You need to be able to make fast, sharp turns, and you need shoes that allow your feet to move naturally. Soccer shoes are designed with this in mind. They're lightweight and flexible, allowing for precise movements. Basketball shoes, on the other hand, can limit your agility. They're built to stabilize your foot during sudden stops and pivots on the basketball court, but that extra support and structure can actually make it harder to make those lightning-fast cuts and turns that are essential in sports like soccer or tennis. Also, tennis requires a specific type of grip. The soles of basketball shoes are pretty flat, which isn't great for the lateral movements required in tennis. I've slipped a couple of times when trying to play on a hard court, and it's no fun. In tennis, you need a grip that helps you push off quickly from all directions, and the soles of basketball shoes just don't do that. So, are basketball shoes the best for all sports? At this point, you might be wondering, basketball shoes are the best footwear for all sports? The answer: not exactly. While they have their advantages, they're not the be-all and end-all for every sport. If you're doing casual multi-sport activities, say, hitting the gym, going for a quick jog, or playing a friendly game of tennis, basketball shoes can be a great all-around option. They'll provide that stability, grip, and durability you need for short sessions in multiple sports. But when it comes to serious, performance-based sports like long-distance running, intense soccer games, or a high-stakes tennis match, it's probably best to invest in shoes that are specifically designed for those activities. You wouldn't wear a soccer cleat for a basketball game, so why wear basketball shoes for running or tennis? Now, I'll be honest, I used to think wearing basketball shoes for other sports was a rookie mistake, but after trying them out myself, I've learned that they definitely have their place. They're great for those spontaneous days when you want to hit a few different courts or sports with friends. They save you time, money, and energy when you don't want to go out and buy separate shoes for every sport. However, if you're serious about maximizing your performance, you'll need the right tool for the job. Don't settle for second best just because it's convenient. Basketball shoes can be versatile, but they're not always going to give you that edge you need for peak performance in a specific sport. So, what's the final verdict? Basketball shoes can absolutely handle multiple sports, but they're not a one-size-fits-all solution. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more honest reviews and breakdowns on sports gear. Have you tried wearing basketball shoes for other sports? I'd love to hear your experience in the comments below. Until next time, stay smart, stay athletic, and remember, never underestimate the power of the right pair of shoes.